Hey y'all, Will here, otherwise Xelray, and today we're going to be getting into a once human video, a quick down and dirty video, non-edited, about things to help new players that I find a lot of new players do not know. This goes from anywhere from how to use your energy links as best as possible and to earn as many as you can, to just knowing what does what in the game that they don't really explain very well. So first things first is we're going to go over to Jonathan over in Greywater. He's a vendor of the third town that you enter. And in his vendor screen, there are things you can buy. You can see I've bought out all the one-time purchases here. And there's things like tomato seeds that I might pick up. They have food, all this. That's great. Energy links are an expensive... Like you run out of energy links really quickly because things that you buy with them are very expensive. And people find that if they bought the things they wanted to from a vendor like Jonathan, they do not have the ability to teleport later on or upgrade their memetics because those also cost energy links to do. What people don't understand is if you go to the very top, you have purchase and sell. You can sell items to Jonathan. He has something like 45 or 50,000 energy links available to give to you for items that you have. And this is a great thing to do, especially if you have excess materials. I know a lot of people farm or to make ingots to sell to Jonathan for 10 to 15,000 credits a pop per stack. However, if you can find silver ore, you can sell each silver bar, which comes from a specialization, so not everyone can do that. I might explain that in a little bit. But silver bars sell for $6 grand a pop, and you can sell Jonathan out real quick. And the other vendors. Each vendor has its own amount of energy links to sell to you so that you can amass a fortune. And you might be wondering, well, why do I want to amass a fortune of energy links? If I have 50,000, can't I really do whatever I want to? You may think that, but no, you can't. And let me explain one other thing. In the season, when you go to your season goals and into the season shop, you have this star crumb exchange. This star crumb exchange can only be used during the last phase of the season, and you can use energy links and quite a lot of energy links, like look, 100,000 for the last purchase, to earn up to 4,000 extra star crumb. And star crumb is essentially your free gambling currency in the game. There is no pay to win aspect, but knowing that you can get star crumb from the season shop is a huge bit of knowledge that a lot of people do not know. I'll explain Star Crumb in a little bit, but knowing that you can get 4,000 from your energy links, but it costs you a pretty penny, is good to know. Going on to that, you have Severin. Severin, for your Stellar Planula, which is the currency that you earn from completing quests and finding hidden items like morphic chests, and a few other things, but those cover the two big ones. You can earn extra star crumb crates up to a limit of 8 per season, so that's another 4,000 star crumb to do your bidding as for what items, weapons, and armor you might want to get from the season. The other thing that Severin has, Severin is in every town, so he's the same in every town, is controllers. Controllers are an item in the game that allow you to get the maximum rewards from a boss or a dungeon, which means that you can upgrade your gear or the mods on your gear by using these. However, they are limited. You can only get so many per week, per season. They're given to you via quests. They're given to you via the season limits on vendors like Severin. And they're also given to you weekly through other means, and I'll go over that in a second. However, if you use them all right away, by the time you get to the hardest content or near the hardest content, you won't be able to make your character strong enough, potentially, to complete that content. So use your controllers sparingly and know that they are limited. So when you decide to use them, you know you're using them for a good situation. Not to mention, not only Severin has controllers, but Nisa has controllers. You can get 20 controllers from Nisa per season as well. And not only that, but events in the overworld have controllers. I don't see an event up right now. They get taken out real quick this first week of gameplay. People are swarming all over them. But you can get controllers and these things called cortexes, which I'll explain in a second. But cortexes are a big mechanic that allow you to get even more more star crumb, not controllers necessarily. So controllers are very useful. Do not waste them. Do not blow them on everything. Use them sparingly, and use them when you need to absolutely go for an item upgrade for your character is what I'm getting at with controllers. The last way to get controllers, and most people don't understand what warbands and hives are for. They understand a team. Like you have a team of people that play together, and hives are kind of understandable. You have a bigger group of friends to play with. But warbands, for PvE, yeah, you understand that you want to have a warband so you can do wars. And you have up to 30 people in your roster. But for PvE, they're a little bit bare bones. You can't use them for much, and I hope that they do change that soon. You can donate to the Warband Fund, and this is important. You can see that I have a weekly contribution cap, and I max it out at a 10 out of 10. You can use different items to sell. I used this time, which I thought was the best, are the Vanadium crystals. I think the rest of them I have are in my base. But you get 55 times 10s, that's 550 credits this week. Next week, I'm pretty sure the best item will be the... Where are they? They're 71. You'll probably see it before I do. But there is Platinum Crystal. You can get 710 per week, and as you get them throughout the season, you sometimes get these damaged data discs. So that's 200 per pop. And that's all fine and great, but what do you use them on? You can use them on more controllers. 450 points a week gets you 3 controllers. All I'm getting at is that they give you a lot of options to use and get controllers, but you need to know where they are. You can also get here canned fruit and canned lunch meat. They're good purchases, but not as good as the controllers. So warbands are a great way to bring people together and get everyone in one area, but it also allows people to be able to reap more rewards from the game. Getting on to the last thing, which are hives, I want to mention. Hives are a great way not only to bring friends together, but to get more star crumb every week. And it's a very easy way to do it if you know how. So we're going to be looking at that. I'm glad that that loading screen was short. They're usually pretty short, but that one felt even more short. What you need for the hive uses is that you have a special item called a Stardust Resonant Filter. It's a function facility in your facilities when you build your base. And never do what I'm doing right now. Don't build this in the middle of your base. You will destroy it, because what this does is it allows you to make a purification defense mission, and enemies are going to bum rush this thing to try to destroy it. But if you purify your cortexes, which I talked about beforehand, you can amass a weekly limit of 40 cortexes, and that will give you roughly 4,000 star crumb on average, which is huge. So, sorry, fumbling buttons. We have a defense master in our hive, and they're right there. How this works is that the enemies can only spawn on the ground, and you can see the base is all in the water. So the enemies have to funnel into the base. There's going to be guns and defensive measures there that help to keep them at bay. And we hang up on the top and shoot down on them. So they're just being rained on by bullets as we do everything that we can. You know what I mean? And that allows us to do all 40 at once in a couple minutes. And anyone in the hive that is in this region and zone when it happens can reap the rewards of that star crumb. And it's not split. It's just an even, everyone gets the same reward. So you can be one and done in like 5 minutes if you preemptively farmed up your cortexes. In week 1, you can only get up to cortex level 2. In week 2 and forward, cortex level 3, that give you a slight bump in your star crumb rewards. Now, I mentioned star crumb a lot, and people may not know what it's for. So if you go over to this Mr. Wish machine, you can make a wish or go to the blueprint shop. I'm just going to go over to make a wish. You can see that I already have this weapon. This is a Last Valor. This is something that I earned through the wish machine. What I personally like doing, and I'm not saying that you should, but I really like using Echoes of the Rift once randomly in the season just to see what I get. I like the sense of mystery that I don't know what I'm going to get, and it could be a really cool item, or it may not. I have no idea. However, the smart way to use the Mr. Wish machine is to find a weapon that you like the Last Valor, and look at what you can get from this and say, okay, well, not only can I get a Last Valor, but I can get some fragments for the Last Valor, and I can get some cool guns too, so maybe it's worth it. Just instead of spending all my money to get a designated and for sure Last Valor, I can spend a couple thousand more Star Crumb and get all this extra stuff. And then you can go through the weeks. Okay, Caged Prisoner, what's this do? You can take a look, you can hit that exclamation point. Oh, it increases my shrapnel trigger count by an additional 1, which the Last Valor does shrapnel damage, and maybe I want that item. What else does this drop? Oh, the Renegade set, or at least pieces of the Renegade set. So that could be handy if I want to focus on weak spot damage as well. There's a lot of information in these. Like Boom Boom and the Hardy Gloves, that's a burn build that they give you on these two. This is more of a shrapnel build. You could also roll randomly. But there's one other thing you can do. You can go to the blueprint shop and just outright buy items. However, that Last Valor at worst would have cost you 10,000 Star Crumb and you get all those other bonuses. You can buy a legendary weapon outright for 8,000, but you gain no other bonuses. So you're pretty much stuck with it. That's up to you on how you want to use your Star Crumb. You can get sets of armor pretty cheap though. You can get 3 pieces for 9,000. And it's pieces that you get to decide and not what the machine gets to decide for you. So say, we saw the Renegade set and it was a 3-piece set, but we need a 4th piece to be able to get the full set bonus. So we might buy 1 piece here for 3,000 and spend 10,000 on the set to get the rest of those 3 pieces. Just to show you a way that it might be able to be used. That pretty much does it for Star Crumb. You can get a ton throughout this game. It's how you pretty much upgrade your character with your armors and your weapons. You can find armor and weapons throughout the map. Wherever you see one of these rift anchors, typically you can do a mission in that area where it's like defeat the enemies, defeat the elite enemy, find the mystical crate, and that mystical crate or chest is what drops you fragments or your blueprints so that you can earn more weapons and armor pieces to play with. And you get a lot throughout the game without even using Star Crumb, but the Star Crumb is a great way to add to your list and also bolster the items by increasing their star values as well. Mind you, if you have any questions about the game, feel free to leave them in the comments. Even if it isn't something directly in this video, I'm more than happy to help you. After all that is said and done, we're going to be talking about some settings that are really important, I find. And the biggest one is right when you enter settings, just drag all the way down on the very bottom. Whispers are those little flowers in the game. I'm sure you found them. You've been trying to loot an enemy and you get a pop-up of someone saying something that you don't care about because it was in a whisper in the wrong location. Or you're trying to get on your bike and you're just reading what someone's saying in a random area. Sometimes whispers are really cool and they're worthwhile reading. But most of the time they're in the way and troublesome. And now you can just turn them off. And that's a great thing to be able to do. If you like whispers because there's something that you found in Elden Ring or the Soul series beforehand and you like that idea, keep them on. That's not a problem. But if you do get frustrated because they're put in a bad area and they feel kind of malicious in their placement, you can turn them off. So that is something that you can absolutely do. And that's the biggest setting I think really I need to talk about. That's the only one. I want to talk about weapons that you find in the overworld versus weapons that you make in your crafting tables. Anything that you make, you can repair. Anything that you can't make, or that you don't make, but you might be able to, you still can't repair. So any found weapon, because it wasn't made by you, means that you cannot repair it. However, when you do find a weapon in the overworld, it has a high chance of giving you a calibration override setting. And what calibrations do is you can upgrade your weapon in your crafting bench and it will increase the damage of your weapon, which is honestly very, very cool. It's a great way to upgrade your weapons and make yourself stronger. However, you can see at level 4 and level 7, you get bonuses, and at level 10, you get another bonus. But you can replace these calibrations based on weapons that you find in the world, such as this one. I can have a knife for my melee weapon, and then I can put light striker style on it, which increases my movement speed, and it also makes my light strikes increase in their attack speed up to 30%, and then everything else is crit rate. So you can totally change your weapons up based on what calibrations you find for them. This is a great way to tweak a weapon to fit your perfect playstyle, and it's worth doing. How you get those calibrations is you take something that you found, you bring it over to the disassembly bench, and I'm just going to disassemble that right now because I need to. But you have weapons and armor that allow you to do the same thing. You can break these down, and they can give you an output of a calibration item. So a very handy thing there. Along with other items that make sense for you to have at all times, one of them is an adrenaline shot. You get that from your supply workbench. And your supply workbench is, space twisters are also huge. But your adrenaline shot, when you go into your down but not out stage, this is when you lose all your health and you're just like kind of on your knees crawling around and you're waiting for someone to hopefully revive you. You don't necessarily need to feel pathetic. You can totally build more adrenaline shots in the game. You need to unlock a memetic to do it. But when you do, you can have like 20 of these on you at all times. So you know if you have you made a mistake, you ran into too many enemies, or you used all your stamina running and you jumped off a cliff and you were going to use space so you could glide down, but you didn't have any stamina, so you just like shot down and lost all your health in a drop. You can brush yourself back off afterwards by using an adrenaline shot. You might feel bad about something stupid you did, but you can fix that problem. You can also craft activators, which is your main healing item in the game. And these are always handy to have. If you're at 20% health and you know the next shot's going to kill you, well, might as well have a way to fix it. You're going to be able to run out of activators quickly in the game if you use them a lot. You can always make more. A lot of people don't realize that you can, because in your memetics, which you can open with O on your keyboard, you have to go to, here's your adrenaline shots and your HP recovery. More people know about that, but adrenaline shots themselves are all in their own little spot here. But when you do upgrade your memetics, make sure you're reading what you do get from that. If you click on it, you can see that you get activators and quick activators. An HP recovery 2, you get quick long-lasting activators, which are honestly one of the best activators you can get in the game. And you can get them early. Just pay attention when you're unlocking stuff, what you actually get. Because there's some really cool things that you can get in your unlocks that people don't necessarily understand. With that, I don't really think I need to talk about memetics. These are pretty well straightforward if you do read them. However, what I did want to touch upon, one more thing that your character can do, but people don't understand how to use it. If you press X and then drag your mouse down, you can get to an emote screen. And this emote screen is very needed in the game. There are NPCs that ask you to emote at certain times so that you can unlock a reward, like a puzzle. And I don't know how many times I've been asked, like, how do I emote? I don't understand. I know what I need to, but I don't understand how to get to the section to allow myself to do so. So you hold X, you drag down, and you release X, you get a whole bunch of them. You also get expressions in this, so you can put little emojis above your character's head. So that's a fun thing too. Beyond that, I just want to talk about Deviants a little bit. So Deviants are a big part of this game. They come in 3 varieties. Let's start with territory Deviants, like the Digby Boy. The Digby Boy is given on the first hit of any tin ore, but also it has a high chance of dropping from silver ore when you mine it. And it goes out into your territory and finds ores for you to make more and more bars, ingots of steel, bronze, copper, whatever tier you're on, it'll find it for you. And there's plenty of these. Now, as of the beta, you can only have 8 of these at one time. I'm pretty sure that's still the max. However, I haven't done that yet. I'm going to have a whole video on Deviants that you can find within the first week. and another one for the second week as in like a fully comprehensive way to get what you can get. There are also combat deviants such as the frost jelly, and these changed a lot. It used to be in the beta that the festering gel, bar none, was the best deviant you can get. And this was because it gave you something that you could get nowhere else. Healing and pretty much absorbing bullets. It also healed your sanity, not just your health. So you didn't need to worry about sanity, you didn't need to worry about your health as much, and you can hide behind it as a form of cover. And that was so strong that no one really wanted to use anything else. So since the betas came out, they heard the cries of the community, and they made it so the polar jelly, which used to just be a splash of extra frost damage from, it was long range, so it was kind of nice, but it was just a frost damage, like a grenade almost. Not very useful, but you know, it can maybe help you. Now what it can do is if enemies are in a zone surrounding it, they take 31.5% more damage from your incoming frost damage or outgoing frost damage incoming to the enemy. This means that if you are running a frost vortex build, you are doing 30% extra damage. So for a frost vortex build, polar jelly is most likely going to be your top dog as far as deviations are concerned. They have multiple of these. The Shattered Maiden, which is a new deviant, if you look down at what it does in its auto attack, when it is slowing down and chaining enemies, it also increases their explosion damage received by 50%. So the Jaws, which is an amazing weapon that does blast and explosion damage, can do even more damage now. And then this deviation can also do its own attacks. So they really made combat deviants stand out and express themselves more and really have a place in the game. The last type of deviant that they have is called a crafting deviant, such as the Space Turner. Excuse me. This is also, in my opinion, the best crafting deviant in the entire game, because what it allows you to do is make an item called a Space Twister that anyone in your team will be given the option to teleport to you from anywhere in the world. And this is so strong to do content that everyone should get it. Let me just give you a tip here. This drops from the Dayton Hospital, which is down. Here we go. Here's Deadsville, the starting town. Here's the Monolith of Greed, which is the starting boss location. The Dayton Hospital is right above that. There's a quest that's by this Dayton warehouse. You can complete that quest line. It will always drop the Space Turner. And you'll have these Space Twister items to be able to summon people to your location so that you can do more content with your friends quicker. It's a great thing to have. Later on, I will be doing a deviant guide about all the deviants. So as I said, that's to come. I'm going to be doing guides about weapons as well and how to make the most out of your weapons. There was a Strange Door deviant. I don't have it producing content anymore, but the Strange Door itself allows you to have a dimensional door. You can see I have a door there by the crafting benches, and this is by the synthesis bench. I can go through it and it can teleport me to the other side. Now this is a basic explanation of it, but imagine you make a much more intricate base that has like a safe room somewhere else. It could be way high up in the air with no way to get to it. You can use these doors to be able to fashion a mechanism or an elevator to get to the next location. You can do a lot of cool things with deviants in this game. This game is inspired by the SCP Foundation in some respects, and it has a lot of lore that kind of follows that same type of inspiration. I think I've mostly talked about almost everything I'd like to in just a down and dirty video helping new players. However, this is to help new players and anyone who needs help. So if you have any questions about the game and what to do in the game, if you're having trouble, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or maybe someone else who is lurking the comments can, to help people out on how to do things if you're having trouble finding the answers somewhere else. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, like and comment about something. And also, there's going to be links down below for my community Discord so we can all get together and play the game and get things done and help each other. I'm setting that up as a new thing I'm going to be doing. And with that, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching.